Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gear Talk with Ray Brownlee and Tom Owens. Tonight we have a special guest with us, Toby. I don't want to say your last name and butcher it too much.
McKnight.
Toby McKnight. All right.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gear Talk.
McDonald's McKnight. Pretty easy.
So let's tonight we're going to be talking gear. So let's kind of start stepping through some things. So why don't we start at the beginning, at the head? So, Ray, what do we want to talk about first? You want to talk about the cobalt helmet?
Yeah, let's talk about. Well, let's. Thanks for everybody for joining. This is another idea that I had, and I wanted Tommy to be actually part of it. And we're going to try and do this as much as we can. And we're going to talk about equipment. And it doesn't matter. We'll feature some manufacturers, and we'll also let you guys talk about what you wear. You can come on the show. So it's, we're not here to bash equipment. Tell us what works for you, why it works, why it doesn't work. And hopefully some of the manufacturers are watching and we can take that information, get that information back to them. So yeah, we're going to start with the cobalt skull cap. I got to see this. Tommy actually has one. I got to see it in Umpire Training Academy when I was down in Florida in January, and I was within 10 seconds of wearing it. I was convinced that it felt like a hat. It worked great with a mask, and hats off to All Star for creating the future for us umpires. So, hey, Tommy, tell me what you think of it.
So I haven't had a chance to wear it in a game yet, but I can tell you right now, from just the initial wearing of it, it's comfortable. I mean, it doesn't feel like a batting helmet or a catcher's skull cap or one of those coaches' hats. I mean, it's comfortable. It's breathable. I've adjusted one of my masks for it, and you definitely need to make sure whatever mask harness you have is neoprene, because the pebbling it's on this thing, when you throw it on there with the neoprene, it's not moving with the neoprene. So it's a good little setup. And that shortened bill is nice because you don't have to worry about a ball hitting it and the cage hitting the bill at all. We've heard some stories about people who've worn regular helmets and the ball hit the cage and the cage hits the bill and it splinters off, and that plastic can be pretty dangerous.
Hey, Tommy, how many fingers can you get up there?
I've got that's how much space I have.
Are you actually touching the bill?
No, I'm not. Let me see how far away I am from it.
Okay.
So I have the Force 3. Got 2 full inches up there.
Wow.
From the bill to the cage. And that goes pretty much all the way around. All the way around. So
just to compare that, this is the Rawlings Cool Flow helmet that I picked up because I noticed the bill wasn't as large as a regular batting helmet. It had really good ventilation. You can see, it's got a leather band padding inside, and my concern was not enough padding in it. It fits great. It fits like it's a 7 3/8. But for example, I won't use the mag mask. I'll use the Night titanium mask, and it goes on no problem. It catches it. It feels good, but I'm barely touching the bill of the helmet right now, so I could see a really good impact pushing it back and hitting that. So kudos to All Star, the way they have come up with their helmet. This is a good helmet, and it might be better with a Force 3 mask. But a couple of guys contacted me and asked me for recommendations. Even though I knew the All Star was coming down the line, I said, this is the best bet for you right now. And there's still an option if you can't get the All Star.
So one more feature about this helmet I want to show you that I don't think he covered is wear this thing, you can get all hot and sweaty in it.
Wow.
All the pads come out. They're machine washable. All the loops are on this side, and it's just a felt side. It's not even loops. And then you just pop it back in, and you're ready to go for the next game. And you can wash your pads, get extra sets of them. nice and fresh and ready to go.
That's a great option if you're working a lot of games on a tournament on the weekend where you can swap out the padding for dry stuff. Really good.
Yep.
It looks like, you know what? I know you're all the way over there, Tommy, but it looks like a hat. It's got a better shape to it than the Cool Flow or any other helmet I've seen for.
So here's just a regular hat for comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you were really looking close, I mean, you're not really going to pick up on it.
Wow. It's a good looking helmet. And obviously you've got the finished version. The one I saw was actually cut on a scroll saw. It was a mold, but they didn't have the build done right. And they trimmed it off, and they did a good job showing it to people. And one thing I noticed was they were concerned how slippy it was with the mask harness. And so I showed them with my mask harness, and it worked great. And then I gave them a suggestion. You could put 3 silhouette or silicone dots on the back of the helmet, but the way they finished it in that sand paper matte black, fantastic. It grips, and it's really nice. Well done.
Yeah, I wanted to get a good close up of that matte. You can actually see it looks almost like sandpaper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Standard All-Star and his team there are great thinkers, and they see it through to the end. And what they've come up with is, I think, I personally believe this is the way forward for all umpires. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff tonight, but I can see a lot of changes coming very quickly. And that's just based on what I'm seeing from All-Star. So I think they're doing an amazing job. What else you got, Tommy?
Well, I talked about the masks. We got the mag masks out, so let's talk a little bit about different masks. So, being an equipment junkie, I've back years ago, these were the craze, and I've got one that has the Zet throat guard on it, and one that has the Force 3 throat guard, and
just got to grab one.
Yeah. So these are the masks I've kind of gotten used to. Back when I started umpiring back in 1990, I'll not say that last number, but the mask we wore back then actually weighed more than these. They were really solid and they were heavy, but these are the 3-spring Force 3s. I never used one of the 4-spring ones, but these are what I like. If you haven't, I think everybody knows the Force 3 by now, knows the springiness of it and all that, and the mask replacements. I think you guys have some other options. Ray, what do you have? You have the
well, I have a couple icons. I have a couple of Nike titaniums, and my face, I really love the Honig's pads. I think Honig's make a fantastic pad, and it works with my face. I feel protected with it. It's titanium. It's not a retail model. They're hard to get. Anywhere from $300 to up to, I've seen them for $700 for the whole thing. I personally think the Nike pads I wouldn't use them. I think their harness is not very well made, but I really like the frame. I think this is the sexiest looking mask on the market. It just, again, it's not a retail model, but it's made out of titanium. I've been hit a few times. It's strong. You feel a little differently because of the strength of the metal. And then I also have the Wilson. The only thing about Wilson, I wear this on Father's Day because of the colored pads, but I'm not a big, I find these pads I like that flatness all the way around. These really put your chin in the spot and very compressible, but it's a good mask. The only, if you put it up with a Nike, they look similar. It's got similar shape, different ear. I just wish their window was a little, like a 1/4 inch bigger. I find that window really tight on a Wilson mask. I don't know why. And then I'm now into the mag mask. It's just amazing when you have all 3 in your hand.
have you got a tape measure handy, Ray?
I don't actually. I
Okay.
should, but I probably, when I clean my table off for this, I probably I don't see it. Anyways, the mag mask, there's something about this mask. Watching the video when Stan was telling about us, it's a two-piece welded right here. This is why this plate's in here. It's two-piece construction welded together. It's really a mold, and liquid magnesium is put into a mold, and they come out with two pieces, a top and a bottom, and they weld it together. And I think it's just a really good mask. I love the angular bars. If you think of a 117 stealth bomber, it's all, yeah, and some of the ships now that the U.S. military have, they're all angular, they deflect. Same idea with these things. It's meant to deflect. The pad is just fantastic. I thought it was massive, right? But I put this on now. It's like it's just part of it just feels good. Really good padding. I love the ABS plastic in the front. A lot of guys have said they wish they had a little more up here, but as Stan points out, it's all skin and bone up here, right? Yeah. One other thing is, if you can see the side, I wish they had extended this one bar down and connect to the throat protector, which would give you a little more that look right here. So you can see it. It's a very small throat guard, but overall, great mask. I highly recommend this. If you can't buy a Knight titanium, again, Tommy's a Force 3 guy. Great mask. Not my cup of tea, but everybody has their own opinions and comforts. And I think this mask does what it's supposed to do. And Tommy will say the same thing about his Force 3s.
I also just haven't gotten around to buying the mag yet. So yeah, that's on my list.
What I like about what I'm seeing from All-Star is it's an engineer designing products for umpires and other things that All-Star do. But he's actually thinking it through. And it seems to me that a lot of manufacturers aren't doing that. They come up with, hey, that's a better sofa cushion. Let's put it in a plastic cover or nylon cover and throw some plastic on it. We'll talk about the chest pad later, but I like where All-Star is going. I think they're making strides in our little world of umpiring, but the actual R&D that's going into this, Force 3 do the same thing. Good products. I just like where All-Star is going personally, and I think they are creating the future now, and I can see in my head down the road what we're going to have for equipment as umpires, and I can't wait for it, because I see one day we're going to have an arm protection that we wear like an undershirt. It's just the technology's getting there. So I love what we're seeing now, and I wish all the other manufacturers would hire some young guys who understand what they're doing, instead of some guy in the corporate office saying, yeah, run another 500 of those chest pads. 20 years down the road, that chest pad is still selling, needs improvement, in my opinion.
Yep, very much agree. Toby, what do you wear on the field?
I'm kind of like Ray. I have a few different masks. I got the All-Star Magnesium. I wear the Knight Titanium, and I have a Wilson Titanium. It took me a while. Ray, did it take you a while to get used to the All-Star Mag? The view's a little bit different. I think because it sits so far away from your face.
I thought the window, it was getting used to the big pad.
Yeah.
And it passed the mirror test. And like, basically, here's what happened. Sandra and I went to down to Louisville, and we met with Umpire and Jim Kirk and his staff, and we got talking, and I basically said, hey, I'd love to see that mask before we go any further. And they brought one out, and nobody said a word. They handed it to me. I opened it up, and it was, I saw all the photographs. I saw a couple of guys in the show wearing it, and I took it out of the bag, and and I asked to see black and gray. So I looked at it, and I went, well, I got to try that on, man. And I put it on, and I just, wow. That was my only word, wow. And I reached for my wallet and I said, I'd like to buy this. And Jim Kirk said, no, we'd like you to have it. So that was on a Tuesday. I then followed my buddy, who's a AAA umpire, up to Indianapolis. We drove home, and the next night I wore it on the plate. And, I've had the other masks on again, but this is my favorite mask. I just love how light it is. How, why can't every other manufacturer just come up with a pad like this for the bottom?
Yeah.
If you can take a punch in the head. Sometimes a perfect punch in the jaw, you're going down.
Right.
No reason, like, for example, no reason I couldn't open up this pad and stick a piece of ABS in there myself. I'll probably do it and try it out and see how it works. But yeah, that's my mask now. And I'm going to buy a couple more, actually. And one thing I'd love to see from All-Star, they come out with a leather pad for it in kind of burnt orange. I'd love to see an all black leather one.
Yeah. Likewise.
I think that now you want to look like Darth Vader. There you go,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, I love this mask, Toby.
Yeah, I like mine a lot. It took me a while to get used to it, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. I think it's got a good window. The window feels like the night to me. Whereas if I put the Wilson on, like, for example, that's an Adidas mask or a Reebok. It's a thicker bar, but it's the same window. I can put the Reebok on. I can pick them up and I can tell you this is the Reebok's heavier or the Adidas. Same Honix pads inside, but same frame. It's made in the same factory probably.
Yeah.
But one's titanium and one's what do they call it? Titan.
Hollow steel.
Yeah.
I thought you were
I have
British
one
versus American there for a second. Start saying aluminum and aluminium.
Yeah. We say aluminum up here.
Good.
It's the UK that says aluminium.
Gotcha.
And they spell tires with a Y. So yeah, I think the Mag Mask is fantastic.
Great. Well, let's skip over the chest because we're going to save that for last. Let's talk about shins. So I, for a while there, I wore the Honix shins, and I've worn some different other ones in the past. I've moved into the Force 3 ones, and one of the features on the Force 3 that everybody should really do on all their shins is the whole removable pad thing. I think that should be standard on every single one of these. That's just my thought on it. The one downside I have to the Force 3 is the clips.
Good.
Yeah, if something happens to these clips, or
because they're
sewn in.
Yeah.
So anything you want to do with it, you've got to either know how to sew or know somebody that will work on this kind of stuff. Because not everybody has canvas needles that will work.
I know a guy.
I know a guy too. I think he's in Canada.
Yeah.
But what's your all's go-to for your shins? These are light too. If you never had these are so light.
I also like how they form to your leg. They form to your legs over time as you wear them.
First night I wore them home, and I was getting out of my car, and I was like, I didn't realize I'd left them on after that game because they were so light, and I wasn't used to that.
I've done that.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah, I had the Wilson Platinums before I got the Force 3s. And, the Wilson Platinums were great. I took some absolute, shots and was fine. But I always felt clunky, going up the first baseline or, running down to third on a rotation. The Force 3s are so light. Like you said, sometimes you don't even realize you have them on.
I know a couple guys that wear, I think it's the Davis ones that are like that thick plastic as well.
Yeah.
They say you can take a shot and can't feel it, but I swear if they didn't have pants on over it, they would look like they have on close to hockey shin guards, the way that they look and the way they sit off the leg a little bit.
Yeah.
I for years I was wearing Bauer referee shin pads, and I made my own ankle protection for them, and it was 2 Velcro straps and low profile, lightweight. Because if you look at a hockey referee, you can hardly tell you're even wearing hip protection, like football girdles. And I bought the Force 3 shin pad, and I haven't looked back since then. My only I wear mid shoes, New Balance shoes, and I think, and I've said this a few times on Ump Life, and I've mocked it up. I would like to see Force 3 put a plastic plate right here instead of this little ankle guard.
Like the Platinums have.
Yeah, you know what? Not as big as the Platinum, because that might be overkill. But I think, I suggested this to Force 3. They don't think there's a need for it, and wearing mids, it doesn't matter. But if you're if you wore low cut shoes, you want to protect the bottom of your ankles too, and the inside. I've been hit on the inside, and you feel it, but you don't feel it. If you know what I mean. It's just like, wow, these shin pads are good. And even when you take one directly on it, it's a really good point. Now, one thing, one of my customers and friends, Chris Hickman, he came up with a solution, because there was a lot of guys saying, man, these get caught up in like poly spandex pants really bad. And Chris decided to try it by moving the inner pad just above, like how I'm showing you here. And apparently it stopped his pants from grabbing something. So he made a suggestion today on the Umpire show at the ballpark. He wishes Force 3 would make this standard that way, instead of being tucked down where right in the knee cradle where you don't see it. He thinks that if you could just add an inch and a half to the top like that, he thinks that would solve all the issues. And I love hearing from my customers and guys who I talk to all the time on Facebook, little suggestions that someone might not realize that, it can save them from failing an evaluation because their pants are all caught up in the wrong spot. So great shin pad. And I'm intrigued to obviously talking about what All-Star have done. I'm now going to buy the helmet. I've already got the mask. I've got the chest pad. I'm going to get the skull cap and the shin pads. I want to try the shin pads solely based as a consumer, the way Stan presented it to us. And it got my attention. I got the chest pad. I got the mask. I've seen the helmet. Now I need to see what the shin pads are all about. And, Jason Klein, I swear by these. I think it's the best shin pad on the planet right now. And I think if they added that little wing here, it would be the best shin pad never made. And it would be hard to convince me to try somebody else's. So I'm going to give the All-Star ones a good once over, because I think there's something there too.
Cool. I also I got to tell you, I've been wearing this for most of the whole call now.
I didn't even notice.
It's still comfortable. I mean, it's not hot. And I'm like, wow. So it feels pretty good.
I had to take my hat off because of this big studio light I've got in here.
Oh, gotcha. I should put mine on, but then you all see me disappear. So, right. So, all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about shoes. So everybody probably has looked into these by now. These are the New Balance V2s. And I don't, the bottoms of them and whatnot, and the way the uppers are made. But if you haven't got a chance to get up close and personal yet, here are the New Balance V3s. So I wanted to show some side-by-sides of these so you can kind of see a little bit of the difference of how the toe cap is made.
Yeah, the toe box is bigger on the new version.
Yeah, and then the upper, they've made the upper have a little bit more toe space, so the strings don't come down as much.
Right.
And then they've moved the end back. Well, let me get on both sides with the end. They've moved the end back up forward, and I guess made it a little bit bigger for brand recognition. And then on the back of it, it may seem a little trivial, but they've made a little bit of improvement right here. I'm assuming that these here probably separated for some people, and they've made it a little bit better on the back and made it a little higher so that when you come down on it, you have a little bit more traction area right here on the back, where here, if you came down on it, it was a little slippery. So But overall, I like these. I'm wearing these for football this fall if we ever get to see a field again. So I'll have a pretty good feeling on these soon. What are you guys wearing these days?
Toby?
I have the V2s that I wear on grass. I did buy the V3s, but I haven't even got them out of the box yet. I wear the V2 plate shoes. I wear low cuts, and on turf I wear the Under Armour, the older turf shoes. Although I did buy the new ones, I haven't worn them yet.
Were those the ones that
I
have
think
like
the
the gray,
improvement
white,
on
and
them-
black on them on the bottom?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a waffle type traction type
Yeah.
thing.
I got to wear this shoe on Saturday. It was the only game I've done this year in a charity game for a friend who passed away. We raised over $12,000 for the hospice. And I'd had these since Christmas time, and they were just sitting in the basement. And I wore them a couple times in March, getting them ready to go out there on the fields, and COVID happened. And, I always kept looking at that end, and it used to drive me nuts. And now I realize, like Tommy's right, it's a product placement. No big deal. I love the heel suction cup that kind of puts your heel in there. The Foam Fresh, the white stuff, is new. Feels like a really expensive running shoe. So yeah, and the grip is really good. Pretty light too. So I wore this one game. It rained at the end, and the field was in great condition, so I didn't pick up a lot of garbage on it. But yeah, I love this shoe, and I was a big Reebok Magistrate guy, and I had Nike Turfs for a while, but this is the shoe. And a lot of guys complain about, well, the laces break, this breaks, my metatarsal guard comes off. Like, I've already covered that, but like, if you take care of your stuff, it shouldn't happen. All right. And sometimes your shoe that you buy is made on a Monday or a Thursday, so you could be screwed either way. But yeah, a great shoe from New Balance, very comfortable.
So something I will say about this is, see how white that is right there? One of the things I always hear people talk about online is using all these chemicals on their shoes, like scrubbing bubbles and all that stuff. These shoes I bought a couple years ago, brand new. These are the first ones, the first year they sold them, and these have seen a couple hundred games. Only thing that's ever been put on these shoes has been soap and water and a brush.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put all those chemicals on. As a matter of fact, it damages your shoe and causes them to break down faster.
Yeah.
So soap, water, and a brush will work wonders. And yes, it gets the white clean. If you have to, throw a little bit of Ajax onto the white or some kind of cleaner like that and scrub it, and it'll get it perfectly clean. But let's face it, guys, there's a little bit of dirt on these, but from 15 feet away, you can't tell.
Yeah, I agree. And like the Magic Eraser works great on those too.
Yes.
A little water, and by the time you're done, they look brand new. And you can get into every little nook and cranny. Hey, and you know what? If you do that after your game, let's say you had a kind of a muddy game, or like it was in between, and you picked up some stuff. You get in the clubhouse or the parking lot, doing this with your shoes will damage them, believe it or not. If you have a brush, clean it up, rake it out, get rid of it, take a damp cloth, and just wipe your shoe down. And then when you get home, take it out to dry properly, and then you pack your bag for your next game. And chances are you don't have to do anything if you're running late. If you show up from the mud bowl and you're running late to the next game, and oh my God, I'm going out in the field, look at my shoes. Take care of your stuff all the time. Like when you're done your game, give your shoes a wipe down. Little things that'll make them last longer.
I've mentioned it on one of the calls before. I mean, I buy, like the 30 packs of shower caps from like the CVS or one of those stores.
Yep.
I keep those in my car. I keep them in my football bag. If I get through with the game and my shoes are nasty after I get all the heavy stuff off, take out a shower cap, put one on around the bottom of your shoe, put around on the other. Doesn't get your bag messy, doesn't get your stuff messy. And when you get home, you just take off the shower cap, clean it, before you go to bed, or at least get all the big stuff off and do the heavy cleaning the next day. So,
Or you could buy the Ump Life shoe bag set.
yes, you could. But I don't like getting any of my equipment
Shameless.
that. So,
Yeah, but you can put them in the shower cap, then into the Ump Life shoe bags.
hey, there you go. So,
What's next?
all right, let's talk about chests. So, I'll start off with one of mine. I've got a couple, but I've got the I call it the samurai. Some people call it the gladiator. So this is one of mine. So now one of the things I do wear on this, and I'll be honest with you all, a lot of people are against these little extensions. These extensions have a lot more use than some people think. I only wear one of these.
Oh, the arm, bicep.
The bicep. I wear right here. And I'll tell you the reason why I wear it. It has nothing to do with being afraid of the ball hitting me or anything. If you're like me, I wear a medical device that I have to alternate on my arms. So when I umpire, I take this bicep and put it over whichever arm has the medical device on it. It helps me umpire, knowing that if I get hit there, it won't hit my medical device. So bicep pads aren't just for people who have some issue going on, that they are afraid of the ball or anything like that. Sometimes you wear it for a legitimate protection reason. But one of the good things about this chest protector is that everything that's on it is Velcroable and movable. And, that's one of the good features about this. If I was talking about down features of it, it's not good for hard and fast games. So if you've got pitchers pitching above 80 or so, you're going to feel a little bit of it with this chest protector. I prefer this chest protector for the game that has the yellow ball in it, as opposed to the one with the white ball in it. But it breathes really, really well. That's one thing I will say about it. With all these holes in it, it breathes really, really well. So, and I of course have taken it and adorned it with a wonderful harness made by a great Canadian manufacturer. So
that's an old one.
Yeah, get the new one.
I have that over here. It's going to go on my new chest protector that we're all getting ready to show off. I've got it ready to go.
Nice.
So, but that's one of my chest protectors. Now, you guys had a couple other protectors, so let's talk about your protectors a little bit.
Go ahead, Toby.
I've worn the Wilson Gold for forever. Loved it. I've taken some shots. It's always protected me. But I was intrigued by the cobalt. I bought it. I've not made any modifications to it yet. I still have the bottom pad. I still have the All-Star harness, everything. I've done nothing to it other than tighten it and get it to fit. But so far, I love it. It's Ray said it a ton of times that it's a game changer, and I agree 100%. It is. It's an amazing chest protector.
I can't disagree with that. You know what? From a guy who has a lot of really cool things, like Carlucci up there. I have a Wilson, an original Douglas Wilson West Vest. Then I have a Douglas, and I have the first original gold by Wilson when they went on their own, and then a regular gold, which I love to bits. Then you have this one. It's like a night titanium. You can't buy it unless you have $800 or more. It's just, it's probably the lowest low profile chest pad ever made. And you know what? If you spray painted the plastic black and put a black pad on it, it would look pretty much like the gold. This is 27 years old, and Stan in his video, he said he was trying to create the icon. This is the icon. He wanted that low profile. So if we go 27 years into the future, if this is still that great, and we bypass every other one that's been made, including Force Free, it's a technology with materials. Then we have this. Okay. Is this that? No, it's unique. It is absolutely a game changer. And the features of the thought that went into this, like when you get a patent for this air channel in here, down the middle, this is all adjustable. These pads are almost like an air bladder, and I'll explain that. I'll take one out, and I'll show you how honeycomb. You can see that ripple, right? Yeah, that's a good shot right there. So
Yeah.
think of acoustic soundproofing or an egg crate. That's actually a foam in there, modern foams. What they do is they coat the material in a spray or whatever. It's coated. So this acts as an air bladder. And it's just really very unique. And again, if you're working a tournament and let's say you're in Arizona and it's 120 degrees and you know what, you have 4 plates that weekend and you might have 2 on the same day, but you can buy an extra set of pads and always be fresh. And I just think the way they thought this through is an engineer built it who actually understands what he's building. Okay, there's a few things I would change. I've already made some changes, but I'm not going to talk about that. I just like what I'm seeing here. And this is our future. It's pretty hard when you can, people were saying, oh, the other System 7 was no good. It was too tight. He fixed, the All-Star fixed that. This is a pre-curved component for your collarbone. And I mean, you can, if you're a big guy, you can spread it out. If you're a little guy, it'll move in. You're covered here. It's the same padding up top. All removable, by the way. Everything comes off. And the beauty of all this padding, you can throw it in the washing machine and hang it out to dry. That's fantastic. Try and do that with a Wilson Gold chest pad, okay? It's impossible. The only thing you can wash on a Wilson Gold is the plastic. And you have to undo all that Velcro. So I just think this is our future. And, I like how the shoulder cap actually has, when we get here, it actually has flexibility. The ABS plastic is really flexible. I mean, you can actually bend this unit in half. Okay. You can do that. You can do that with the Wilson Gold, but you will create the sofa cushion. Looks like someone sat in that seat for 35 years. This won't crease up. So great protection. I can't wait to get hit with it. I really can't, because you don't say that lightly. I'm looking forward to getting drilled. I personally took the gap protection off because my size, I looked like a linebacker. So there's enough there to protect me. So if a ball hit in between, both parts are going to protect me. I'll probably add my own type of gap protection. But overall, man, I give this thing a 9.75 out of 10. And I highly recommend it to everybody out there. If you're looking to buy a new chest pad and you want comfort, safety, ventilation, that's the best chest pad on the planet by a mile. And that's, what, those are big words. I'm not getting paid to tell you this. I'm giving you my personal opinion on a piece of equipment that has captured my imagination. And I think All-Star are now going to be the leaders of umpire equipment. So there you go. I said it.
So
I actually believe in the product. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't wait to actually get to wear it in a game the first time, just to get hit, just to see what it's like. Because there's been other protectors out there that were pretty expensive. And after I got them and wore them in a game, I couldn't get rid of it fast enough because I didn't feel protected, even though it cost me a pretty penny. So this one here, just from the feel of it and wearing it, I feel like it's going to be a really, really good protection.
I've had major league umpires ask me to buy this from me. I had a AAA guy the other day. He wants to buy it. I'm probably never going to use this. And if I hang on to it, it's going to be a thing to hang on my wall. I don't know if I'll ever get rid of it, but is it safe? It's not bad. But based on 27 years old, still in great shape, mint condition actually. I could sell this for $800. With that $800, I could buy 4 of these. I could buy 4 of these and a helmet, maybe the shin pads too. And I'm going to be more protected, feel safer, and it'll be comfortable. So, you know, my money's on this thing, and I can't say enough about it. I think well thought out. Yeah. And when you're allowed into the lab to get to see what Stan at All Star and his team do, you know, we got to see something really cool that night, and I love the enthusiasm from him too. He was just mad scientist. Here's my product. What do you guys think? And just, I could talk to him for days on end. I think he's absolutely a super guy, and what he's given us here is a really good product.
So a couple of things about that too. I think one of the things All-Star did that some of the other manufacturers haven't done is, instead of talking to like pro umpires or thinking they already know what's good for us, is All-Star actually made several different, you know, what do we think of, prototypes of these, and gave them out to umpires at all levels to try them out, and got feedback from everything from your umpire that does local games to guys who did minor ball. Yep. To get their impression of it. And they actually listened and took that feedback and made changes with it. Even as late as the last prototype, which, you know, we all give Eric Goldschmidt a run for his money and all that. He got one of the last prototypes, and he saw the program the night that this rolled out and saw changes in it even after the latest prototype that he had.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that shows a good thing on the manufacturer side, that they're listening to people and making those changes happen, instead of just going, okay, well, thanks for your feedback, we know what's best, and kind of dismissing you.
I was talking to Matt Arcovio the other night. We had a nice little chat, and we're talking about that. And I said, hey, I can't believe Eric actually kept it a secret.
Yeah, that's true. We can't.
I don't know how he did it, because Eric is a great guy. He posts on every Facebook page on Facebook, believe it or not. I call him the world's biggest tire kicker, but he's a good guy, and he's already been asking me, how do you make the changes that I made? And he's a smart guy. Like, he asked me, what drill bit did you use? I go, well, I just took the drill bit and put it in the hole on the one that I took the screw out of. So that's the one I use. I don't know the number. I just get the DeWalt, stick it in, and go, bring, you know. And he goes, what size Chicago screws? I go, the same ones on the cobalt. I don't know. So yeah, I'm surprised he kept that a secret, but I'm glad he got one, and it was really cool. I had a guy talk to me once. He had an idea about something, and he wanted to know could I get it tested for him at the minor league level? And I went, well, here's what I would do. Take your prototype and give it to the biggest umpire you can find, the most out of shape guy at your local little league thing. If he can break it or can't break it, you might have a winner. That's your testing. And he goes, oh, what a great idea. I said, yeah, you don't want a minor league guy to test it, because they're all fit and everything. You want the biggest guy in your community to try and break it for you. If he can't break it, you're onto something. So yeah, it's a great rig, man. I love it. We can't have two of them, but
one thing I will rub into Eric is I've got a nice shiny sticker with mine and some blue paper when I opened my box. So take that, Eric.
Well, you actually said maybe I don't know if he sent me a text or he goes, I'm going to send mine back, and maybe I can get the blue paper too.
So Toby,
my blue paper.
You've got a one-up on me and Ray, because you've actually worn this thing for a couple of games.
Yeah, I think I got 5 games in with it. It's
what did it feel like when you got hit?
I got hit in the shoulder with a pretty good shot, and it is extremely loud when you get hit. It's actually startling how loud it is. when you
Really?
get hit. But I did not feel anything on the shoulder. I got hit on the chest with a foul ball, and again, I mean, very very loud, but I didn't feel anything. It was awesome.
Did anybody see Kyle Tellson's video? You got his son to come over with the ball on the stick and whack him.
I saw that. That was impressive.
He tested the System 7 and the Cobalt, and he got his kid to whack him. I thought it was pretty funny.
I need to talk to Kyle. I'd pay money to see Kyle get hit because I know Kyle. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, you got to watch the video
Yeah,
because he gets hit a lot.
awesome. So, Toby, I got a couple of weird questions for you, but they'll make sense when I start asking them. So, what was the
Okay.
temperature like for the games that you worked?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
What was the temperature like in the games you worked? What was the weather like? Because I want to talk a little bit about the humidity you're working in. Is it high humidity? Were you in the 80s? What kind of weather?
I live in Pennsylvania, and it's starting to cool off here already. And so none of the games that I worked were real hot. I think maybe the hottest game that I worked was maybe upper 70s. I mean, it wasn't real hot. I'm excited to see how it holds up in the summer, but I can already tell you, compared to the gold, it's much cooler, obviously. One thing that surprised me about it is
I took a gold apart, man, and it took me 2 hours to take the back and front cover off because it was glued together onto the sofa cushion.
yeah.
So yeah.
The gold is, the gold has been great to me. I have nothing bad to say about it. I've loved the gold. But it's just this product is completely different. It is like Ray said, it's very well engineered. So I can tell in the summer, it's going to be a lot different wearing it in the summer.
So a couple questions about putting it on. So you haven't worn a jacket with it yet, because that's one indicator about a chest protector is putting your jacket on with your chest protector on, especially if it's a pullover. But how does it lay with your shirt over it? Do you feel like it bulges in your shirt like some chest protectors, or does it fit slim and you kind of have to look a little bit to tell it's there?
No, it's extremely slim. I didn't wear it with a jacket. I did wear a long sleeve shirt the one day with it. I haven't made any modifications to it yet. I saw a couple guys that were complaining that the bottom part, the abdomen part, was sticking out. I didn't have that issue. My shirt pushed it in. So I didn't have any issues with that. I haven't upgraded my harness to Ray's harness like I have on my gold yet. But when I do that, it will be that'll make it a lot better. The harness that's on there isn't bad. It's just Ray's harnesses, and I'm not just saying this because of the he's on here and everything, but I mean it's just so much better than any other harness. Matter of fact, his newer one is 1,000 times better than his original.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It does. You know what? Like again, one thing with I'm not a fan of webbing up here, like, or even the way the buckles came. If like you can see this, like that's elastic, and you can see what I've done. And I think if again, this is just my personal feelings. I loved when I first right here, and I went, wow, that's terrible. That'll never work. That's a bounce ball. It's going to shatter the buckle, no matter how good your ABS is for the buckle. Just that pressure will snap it or crack it. So when I watched the video and Stan had the longer extension added, I went, wow. And if that had been elastic, there would be no issues during the guide strap. As it stands right now, it kind of sits that way. And I tried it on this way originally where it was. And I had a hard time getting it to put it in there and undo it. So, I already that's what I did. I actually removed.
I think we lost Ray there for a moment. He may be back, coming back in just a second.
Yeah, that would be one thing that I would change. It was when I tightened everything up. It wasn't the easiest to get into it. But I figured a couple things out after watching some other guys and what they've done.
I would say one of the first things you probably need to do when you get if you get an All-Star, and at least I did this because, I mean, if you ever order equipment that's put together with screws, the very first thing you should do when you get it, screws or nuts or bolts, is get you a screwdriver or get whatever wrench or whatever, and just check all the nuts and bolts and screws to make sure they're tight. That's what I did with this here. I didn't find any loose on mine. Some people have said that some of their screws have loosened on theirs. So based on how it gets transported and the trucks it's on and the terrain, it can cause some of these things to vibrate and come loose. So you really want to keep track of that to make sure that works. But yeah, I really can't wait to get hit with this sometime in the spring or even in the fall if we get to see ball back here. Well, that kind of gets us to probably close to the end of the night tonight. Any other equipment that you have, Toby, that is like maybe new in the past couple of years that has come out that is really, I can talk about a lot of Ray stuff because I've been a long time Ray Brownlee customer before I even got involved with this shows. I mean, his utility bag that goes with me to every game because I've gotten so used to that. When I'm getting dressed for a game, I just pop that thing open and everything I need is in its own little pocket. I'm a big kit kind of guy. So when I'm prepping for a game, I have everything in its own little kit. I have my shoes in their kit. I got all my game stuff in their kit. I got my rule books and stuff in their kit. I got everything to where when I get to the game, I just lay myself out and I'm good to go. I'm the same way with the sports I do, like football, basketball, all everything's got its kit.
Yeah. I said the one time, I think it would be easier for me to name the products that I don't have of Ray's than to sit there and list all the products I do. Yeah, I mean, no other equipment that I'm using right now is new. I'm excited to get my Cobalt helmet. I keep checking my emails every day to see if it's shipped yet. I know it's coming in the next week or two. So I'm excited to try that out. I haven't upgraded my shin guards. I haven't been able to find anything that compares with the Force 3. It's I've been extremely happy with those.
I got to be honest, I'm probably going to order the Cobalt ones when they come out because if that product is anything like this helmet and
right,
that chest protector, it's probably going to sell me. I mean,
yeah,
I think the more manufacturers get the idea that umpires now, not to knock any of the older guys, umpires now are getting more sophisticated about our equipment. We are maintaining it more. We don't buy whatever we can get for the best price, use it for 8-9 years till it breaks apart and buy something new. We buy something, we maintain it. If we see it starting to wear in a couple of years, we save a game fee or so and replace our equipment. And so I think they're starting to pay attention to that umpires are doing that. We all still see the guys out there wearing the same pair of shoes they bought 24 years ago that you can see the brown leather through, the polish won't stay on anymore. But companies like All-Star and Ray and Force 3 are starting to see that umpires are maintaining their own equipment now. And I think that's so I think we've come to the end of the show tonight. We lost Ray, but Ray would bid everybody a good evening. Toby, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure Ray and I'll be back with something here in the near future. I just want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. And I hope everyone has a very good evening.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.